change the way that it operates just because you don't like how it operates. It's flamboyantly, insanely narcissistic, and it's not even a possibility. You can change the laws, but you're not going to change the infrastructure. In certain countries, maybe. But nowadays, with the world powers being what they are, the likelihood that we're going to change how things work is much less likely than the probability that we could change how and when these platforms are held accountable for what's seen online. Change how and when. All right, you got to give me a few minutes to catch up on comments. So if you're still behind on if you know, I'm going to be going quite a bit. You know, I have to go back a little bit. Give me a minute. Just do not comment. Just give me a little while. I mean, you could comment. You're just gonna still have to wait for me. I apologize. Just give me a minute. My gosh, how long have I been ranting? Quite a while. At least what I'm saying is accurate. All right, where are we at? We are in Hollywood, California. That's right. And where is Hollywood, California? It's in America. People forget sometimes. It's okay. Thanks for the beans. I would rather focus on the positive and move on with my life. How's that? Yeah, it's gonna take a while. Give me a minute. I literally don't even have like the time to block anybody right now. Where are we at? I'm catching up. Just gotta give it a minute. I'm 30. I'll get rid of you later. Don't worry. I'm really not. Narcissism is my least favorite thing. You know, I had people in my life that were narcissistic. I don't anymore, and I'm not about it. They make everybody look bad, and they don't care about anybody but themselves. So I don't do it. I don't subscribe to it. I'm good. How are you today? Okay. Hey, hey.
Stupid fucking James, bro. So I don't know. He's going on about, he's like, need to hold these platforms accountable for people making content off of other people's trauma and blah 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 fucking blah. So I don't know.
I really enjoyed the start to my day this morning. Has been fantastic.
Whatever, James. I don't even know if I got the beginning of it. My phone did something weird, so if I did, hopefully I did. We can see what I'm talking about, and if not, then I don't know. Well, I'll get it from someone else, hopefully. And if not, then I don't really care because it's fucking James and he
I'll
says
tell
the
you
same
what,
thing on repeat anyways most of the time.
this fog is so heavy that I have
I'll be
water
back. I can't even
in
fucking
my
listen to it
nostrils. It was so heavy. It's not heavy anymore, but I've been out here for a couple hours now. And the fog was so heavy that I got water in my nostrils running out my nose. And it's not like I thought. I'm like, am I getting sick? But I realized it's actually the water vapor in the air. And I have a wet beard. My beard is wet from the fog, from the moisture in the air this morning. So I don't know if this happens a lot around here. I've been living here about a year and a half. You know, I'm not really like totally used to things just yet, and I don't know what's all that common, what isn't, because I've been busy. But I've never really seen this much fog in the morning until now. Now, when the temperature's hot, yeah, that I'm used to. You wish. When the temperature's hot, I'm accustomed to that because that's like every day, and I love it. Absolutely love it. The nights usually never get more cold than I'd say 50 something degrees, which I'm very thankful for. Which I'm used to. You know, I got used to very warm days and very cold nights. But this is good out here. You know, it's a really stable. It's a really stable environment, which is, you know, something I enjoy. And then, what do you call it? Sometimes it rains when God calls for it, you know? And that does happen from time to time. And by God, that's like the proverbial word for people who somehow know how to affect the weather. I don't know how they do it, but I'm also just teasing. I think I'm funny. I think I'm hilarious. They're like, no, that's really scary. I'm like, then stop bothering me. What do you want me to say? You know, they're like, that's overkill. And I'm like, no, it's really not. I am burnt out. I'm tired. And I will call on the gods of men to bring rain to Hollywood. So shut the fuck up and leave me alone. Excuse my language. When I say I'm very tired, I mean, like, I have worked so hard over the past week that, like, I am burnt out to the level where I need to rest for like 2 or 3 days. And I currently don't have anywhere to like just rest and get work done. And I can't stop getting work done. I can't just fall off. So it's like, without allowing people to assert control over my environment, and when I say my environment, I mean like my internal, inside me, not out here. I gotta keep going, you know? Good morning, Eduardo. Good, how are you? Yeah. And if you don't believe in the possibility, if you don't believe in reality, let me just say it this way: if you don't have the ability to grasp the concept of reality, I will tell you that the Farmer's Almanac existed before the Weather Channel ever did. And so the fact of the matter is, so if you don't know what it is, look at the Farmer's Almanac. The Farmer's Almanac is a book that is written every year that will tell you the weather for the upcoming year. Every single day, what the weather is going to be for the upcoming year. And it is accurate every single day, every single year. And people are like, that doesn't exist. That's not. Go to a farm town. Go ahead, I dare you. You go to any farm town in America that, you know, they got, like, just think of any small farm town you can come up with. Go to a small farm town, go into the local grocery store, go to an IGA, go to a Gould's, and buy a Farmer's Almanac. It will tell you what the weather is going to be every day for the entire year, and it is accurate every day for the entire year, sometimes down to the temperature. So before you think that you're so smart and you got it all figured out, just know that some guy somewhere can tell you off the top of his head whether or not it's going to rain on June 5th of 2025 right now. Okay, so like, no offense, but there is somebody out there that knows more than you, and that's just the way it is. And that's the way it is for me too, you know? So you just kind of got to roll with Now, can the weather be manipulated? Well, we don't allow people in society to be smart enough to know whether or not it can be, because most people are volatile and violent and feral animals that refuse to obey the laws of nature. So we don't really allow most people to know anything about what actually happens in life and how nature really works. But we try. You know, when people decide to be responsible enough, we permit them to know more. And when they're not, we either don't tell them, or we take from them their ability to know more, or we take from them what they already know. Because while some people don't really understand the concept of memory, the fact is you can forget things. It's not like everything is always there in the back of your mind like you're taught in school. The reality is sometimes you can remember, and sometimes you can forget. And so the moment you got it all figured out, just remember it can be taken from you. I don't forget that, and that's why a lot of times I not only get to keep what I know, but I get to learn more. Anna Lynn, what's up? Good, how are you? ID, welcome to the broadcast. Hello. Totally agree with me on that. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, it's and see, and there's some things that are truth, and there's some things that are opinion or perception. And the reality is, no matter your perception, there are laws of nature that are concrete, right? Like everything is perspective and perception. And then there's nature. Okay, so you can change your opinion on how you think gravity works as long as you don't change on this planet. Okay, so like on planet Earth, you can change your opinion on how you think gravity works on Earth. You can change the verbiage, you can change your perception by flipping your head upside down and say that something's falling up. But the reality is, no matter what, when you let go of something, it's going to hit the ground. That's a law of nature. It's a concrete law of nature, right? Most things are perception, most things are shiftable, most things are maneuverable, but the laws of nature cannot be changed. And that's just how it is. You can change anything else, but you can manipulate the laws of nature, right? You can create an isolated environment where gravity works differently, but you can't change the concept of gravity, and you can't change how nature works on its own. So, like, if you decide not to manipulate nature, nature has its own way of doing things. You can create your own perception and reality by manipulating how nature works, but you can. But you can't change nature's inherent processes. That's because the planet Earth the planet has its own way of doing things, and you can't change that. You can manipulate it, but you can't change it indefinitely. Earth will, on its own, return to its own natural state of existence, as they say. So we've done that plenty in the past, right? Changed how things work. But eventually, Mother Nature does decide, okay, I put up with this long enough. It's coming to the point where none of us are going to be here unless I, take control for a minute and put things back to the way they were. And then Mother Nature, or, Father Nature, whatever the heck you want to call it, Earth, planet Earth,
I
puts
thought
itself
some
back
guy
into
was
balance,
controlling the weather,
whether
not
using
Mother
us or
Nature.
not.
Jams, J.
So that's it. I mean, that's my rant number 2 for today.
Rant number 2.
Yeah, so I mean, I think pretty much everybody went silent instead of refuting me, because you're probably
I'm too
actually
fucking
Googling the
tired,
Farmer's
James.
Almanac.
Like, I got 2 hours of sleep.
It's not like some big
Fuck off.
secret. Like I said,
Like,
you can
what
find a
the
Farmer's
hell, dude?
Almanac in any small town. And minus man's interference with the
It
weather
was
and
really
manipulation
beautiful.
of weather
So
patterns.
James,
The fact of the
he
matter
is up at this whatever
nature
fucking
has
hour
its
this
own way
is,
of doing
10
things,
a.m.
and you can't
Eastern.
predict that. All it takes is
And
being someone
he
who
usually
is
goes
paying
live again
attention
at
to
like,
the weather long enough to understand weather patterns. And so
I don't
a
know,
book can be
6
written, such as
p.m.?
the Farmer's Almanac,
5.
where you can
5
be
to
told
6.
a year
He's
ahead of
usually
time
live. 5 to 6.
what the weather's going to be on a certain day, and not
And
be
10
wrong about it. Like I said,
to-
minus people who actively manipulate the weather.
11 or
using,
12.
whatever operandi they use. And if you're like,
I
oh,
gotta
that
plan
doesn't
my
exist,
fucking life around
well,
those
then how do
times,
you
I
have
guess.
snow on a mountain in the
That
middle
would
of
seem
summer?
to be like the guaranteed
When
times.
when you go to a ski resort, they create
Based off
snow.
the past 4 days.
Well,
at
the
least.
same concept is just at a larger scale. And they're like, oh, you're not supposed to talk about that. I'm like, why? Like, who cares? Why does it matter?
Have to do
What
that.
what difference does it
Appreciate
make? You have control over your life, don't you? So there's somebody somewhere that controls the weather. Is it the end of the world because it's not you? Like that's really what I ask people is like, do you have to be in control of everything all the time? And if you do, why aren't you seeing a therapist? Because that's not healthy or natural for most people. And even then, if you are someone who has to be in control of everything all the time, you should still see a therapist because it's healthy for you.
Whole Foods.
It doesn't mean there's something wrong with you, but a therapist isn't a bad idea for anyone. That's just how I see it, And that's my personal opinion. That's my viewpoint. And I'm sticking to it. I grew up on a farm, and I could tell you what the weather was going to be the next day, or with the Farmer's Almanac. Even with the manipulation of man to the weather, I could still tell you what the weather's going to be on whatever day the next year. Now, here in Hollywood, I could tell you I spend a lot of my time out here, right? And so I could tell you whether or not it's going to be foggy in the morning the next day. I could tell you whether or not the sun is actually going to beat down or if we're going to get surprise rain. And that's just because of skills that I have and skills that I was taught from my family. And so people are like, oh, it's superhuman. No, it's not superhuman. You just don't pay attention. And it really is that way. You are so obsessed with your way of life, and there's nothing wrong with that because everybody's got their own way of life. But you're so obsessed with your way of life that you're not paying attention to things that you think are supernatural. It's not supernatural. It's basically natural, and there was a day where we didn't even talk or think about it. We just did it. There wasn't some conversation about some overarching, scary organization or like the establishment. No, it's just like it rained or it didn't, and we weren't weird about it. People are so obsessed with trying to control their environment that they're stepping over each other, and then the rain comes and all their stuff gets soaked.
You're back in.
And instead of even taking responsibility for their own actions, they're looking around at each other and saying, who do I blame? And I can't even believe it. Like, I go at a speed where if I know it's going to rain, and I only know if it's going to rain because I move slow enough to pay attention and not be obsessed with someone else's life, that I make sure that I'm somewhere I need to be.
I'll explain
right?
a second.
Like if I know it's going to rain at 12 o'clock tomorrow afternoon, or I know it's going to rain 3 weeks from now at 12 o'clock in the afternoon,
hey, Megan.
I'm going to make sure that I'm indoors for that time. I'm going to make sure that I plan ahead for that. And if you're someone that doesn't know how to plan ahead for that, that doesn't mean that there isn't somebody that can. And if you want to learn how to do that, like I will stand here and tell you to move more slowly, and you'll tell me I'm wrong. I'm like, I'm sorry to tell you, but that's how it works.
You could just download a weather app instead of Bigo Live.
And then I teach you, and you say, no, you're wrong.
Look at the weather app to know
you don't want
it's
to
going
learn.
to rain and stuff.
So that's it. If you really wanted to learn that bad, you would listen.
Or you just download the weather app. All of that weather data is free. It's paid for by tax.
I'm not here to teach you. I'm really not.
It's
I'm
like
just
the
somebody that
government
doesn't
puts
mind
it.
teaching
That's why
you
they're
if you're willing to learn.
I don't
because what else am I doing with my
robbery.
time? I mean,
and $20 for like a fucking weather app.
It's an easy thing to do to tell you to move more slowly. It's not that hard to tell you. Now to do it is difficult. How do I tell you how to slow down if I've never lived the way you live? I don't know. I don't have that answer.
About this.
And if you don't like my answer when I tell you to slow down, but I don't know how to tell you.
I'm sounding like James now. I need to stop.
Then you're going to have to ask someone that knows how to do it. Don't blame me for your inability to adapt to my level of teaching. Like if I can't teach you because I don't have an ability to relate to you, you have to find somebody that can relate to you. If you need a teacher that can relate to you, then you have to find one. You don't try to force someone to be able to teach you. You don't turn the teacher into the student unless the teacher is willing, right? And so in my life, I already have enough that I don't need to shift back down in years to where you're at. And it's not that I don't care. It's that I have my own life. I'm not living your life. I don't know you like that. So I can't tell you what to do. You know, if you're looking for someone to control your life, look elsewhere. If you're looking for
He's
someone
still
to
in his
lead your
birthday
life,
kick
look
too.
elsewhere. If
What
you're looking
birthday are we
for
on
someone
today?
that's going to
Let's
give
find
you the
out.
basic advice, I could give you that. Just don't expect me to do it for you because it's literally not possible. And it just blows my mind that there are people that believe that it's actually possible to live someone else's life for them. It's not possible. You can guide someone in a direction, you can control their decisions, you can force them to do things, but you're not going to teach someone a lesson unless they are either willing to learn and unless they're willing and capable of learning it. And sometimes, if there's someone that can't relate to your experiences, then they're not going to be able to teach you, and vice versa, you might not be capable of learning it. And with experience, it does become possible to learn it. But if the person isn't open to those experiences, the only thing you're going to do is cause trauma and create a problem. And if you're the type of person that's just looking to cause trauma and create a problem, it's best that you keep your distance from a guy like me, because I'm a pretty serious guy, and I know that it's going to rain on a Wednesday in June of next year. And nobody else does, for the most part, around here, you know? So just, you know, leave me out of the conversations I don't belong in. And if you're going to invite me into a conversation and seek my opinion, don't be so immature, especially if you're in a position of power or responsibility. Give me any flack when you've asked me for my opinion. You don't have to like what I have to say. You have to figure out how to solve your problem. And if you try to force me to solve your problem, you're going to end up like every other person that has ever tried to force me to solve their problem, sitting in the rain.
In the
And that's a
rain.
fact. Red sky in the morning, shepherd's
Jeff,
warning.
talk crazy.
Red sky at night,
Jeff,
shepherd's
talk
delight.
Crazy.
And even that is so new age that I don't utilize
If
it.
you want to stay on my good side, I don't care.
The
I don't know
knowledge
if you guys
that I
want to stay on my
have
good side or not. Don't
on
ask
the
me the
weather
same
comes from
fucking
the
questions
ancients,
every day.
Right?
If you
It
want to
comes from
stay
people
on my
that
good
lived on this
side, I'll
planet
say that.
before there were what the pilgrims called savages. So I don't rely on
In the
society's
rain.
civilized version in my mind. Okay? The way that I live a civilized life. But in my mind, I operate as an instinctual animal. I pay attention to my own personal instincts, and I trust nature. I don't operate against nature. And in an environment that is almost in totality produced by man and manipulated, where nature is manipulated by man, I don't account for, on a core basis, most of what goes on around me. So when I'm walking down the street and someone feels like I'm either staring at them or looking right through them, I'm not doing either. I am paying attention to nature, and I'm paying attention to what's going on around me on the most simple basis possible. And whatever else is going on around me, I am 100% aware that it is already being controlled by somebody somewhere. There's already social processes. We got 7:25 a.m. 07:25. Yes, sir.
I wonder what happened with the
You want me to move you back? You say? Did you ask me to move you back or no? Yes, sir.
Gary Lee.
All right, give me 2 seconds.
I can't remember everybody's name. There's some famous guy. Hold on, what was his name?
All right. You got them.
Melrose.
You got to pull.
Larry Green.
You're
That's
gonna stay where you're at.
what happened to him.
Do you need anything, or are you good? I ain't got no cigarettes anymore, but are you all right? Do you need anything?
You need cigarettes. You don't have any, James.
Why? What happened? Oh, it looks like a pretty nice hat. Well, I'll tell you what. As long as you don't need anything, I'm gonna keep moving, okay? If you need anything, holler. Just start yelling.
Just start yelling. What is James?
Like that.
What?
When you need something, you see me coming by, just ask, okay? Have a good day.
Okay. You need anything at all? Just get off for me. Just start yelling. Just swing your arms around.
Thanks for the follows. I was listening to a broadcast. I was watching a TikTok the other day. Here's some of that mucus I was telling you. It's coming from my lungs.
Where else would it come
I'm getting
from?
all that tar out. I'm telling you. I can feel it come out of my lungs. I'm so happy about it.
Oh my.
I was watching this TikTok by a retired CIA agent, right? And
Like you.
he
Retired
was
CIA.
talking about special operators that he had met, right? And it was very interesting because he's saying how, you know, okay, so you have tier 1, tier 2, and tier 3. And we're not going to go into that. I'm not even going to try to explain it to you because I don't remember the half of it, let alone to be telling you. But in tier 2 special operations, essentially you have people that are highly trained, but they might not necessarily be the smartest. So, like, you don't have to be book smart to be a recon Marine. You don't have to be book smart to be a Raider. You don't have to be book smart to be a Navy SEAL. You don't have to be book smart to be a Green Beret. But depending on your specialty and depending on what you do in it, like I said, there's a lot of verbiage that I do not remember. But essentially the way he described it in the TikTok video is like they're like animals. They're like, they operate on instinct. They're not much thinkers. They're essentially trained killing machines, you know. And then he described, you know, what essentially you would relate to tier 1 special operators, which we're not going to go into that at all for reasons having to do with my lack of desire to cover the topic, just due to my own personal experiences, not having ever been officially trained and having had worked with many of them. It's a very scary thing. If you're someone that's professionally trained, it's one thing, but when you're a guy who's literally just like playing water boy until you're good enough to get in the field, it's really friggin' scary, and it leaves you with a whole bunch of stuff that you really don't feel like talking about. So I've learned to cope with it, and part of coping with it is that I don't talk about a whole lot of it, especially considering most people would never believe it. Yeah, I got the tag. I'm good. So where is it going with this? Essentially what the guy said in the TikTok video was how, you know, to be in tier 1 special operations in the U.S. military, you have to be book smart and physically capable. You have to have, they're so, like, for anybody that tries to claim service, you're going to know if they're lying based on these principles. If they claim any experience in special operations, if they are not of a high IQ, if they do not have a healthy biological history within their family and heritage, and if they do not have, some form of prior experience in either firearms or some form of, survival ability on their own, it's usually pretty rare. It's not, you have to be, there's only a couple of people in the tier 1 special operators community is like, I don't know what it is now, but a couple hundred people, maybe the entire planet, for those who are, focus forward.
Where is he?
I'm gonna
His
use the word
connection
focus
is
forward.
shit.
Some people know what I'm
It's
talking
like
about.
under some building or some shit.
The likelihood of you meeting a tier 1 special operator is like 0, just so you know. So if you have somebody and they're like, yeah, like I was a black beret or I was a green beret.
Oh, he's by
Check
the
into
porta
it.
potty.
Check into
He's
it.
by his porta potty.
If you have someone that claims to have been like a Navy SEAL, or they claim to have been, a special operator, just on the basis, like just an atypical, what you guys have heard of in the media, special operator. If they're not smart, it doesn't mean you have to doubt them, because it does happen. I can tell you, my dad, my biological father was a Navy SEAL, and he was not the smartest guy. I'm thankful that I got my mom's.
His connection is shit by the porta potty. My mamma mia. But yeah, that. Oh, let me see if I can get them up. In the brain. Definitely not crazy. Which way is it? Is it not the right way? The right way. Maybe it's the wrong way. I should be saying something to you guys while James glitches out here while he waits for the porta potty. I'm trying to find it on the thing to show you. Where he's at. But I think I went the wrong way somehow. Somewhere. That was on La Brea. I can find it. So well, yeah, it's Cassandra's got it. You're frozen up.
Can't give him a chance. And you got to understand this, and this is especially in the tier three community, is there is going to be a lot of times where you're dealing with somebody who did some sort of really tough job and wasn't properly, what's the word? May not have been properly debriefed. And so there's always a possibility that their, let's call it, work history is not searchable. It does happen quite a lot. Because in tier 3, essentially, you have people that are going to be of long-term use. You have people that are going to be of short-term use. And then you have people who were never going to be of use to begin with, but they were good enough for a couple of jobs. And that's neither here nor there. But just what I'm saying is, do not just throw someone to the curb. If they tell you that they serve this country and you cannot find any information about it, they may be telling you the truth. So don't count them out. That's how I see it. I have most definitely, based on my own personal vetting, met at least Marines
Hollywood
that were telling me the truth about their experience, and they had described their experience, and not only did they have the lingo and the verbiage accurate, but also, I was able to verify and confirm the operation that they claimed to be a part of, or the mission they claimed to be a part of. And, that's enough for me. That's enough for me to say they're probably telling me the truth. Now, if they're a military brat and they have all that information, I'm less likely to believe them, because there's a possibility that they're putting all of it together and then just trying to use it to take advantage. But at that point, then I just step away from the situation, because I don't have a way to further verify their truthfulness, right? So yeah, but they're just another rant number 3 for the day, for birthday number 4. Today's my 4th birthday day, and I'm just a very particular individual, very unique individual who has done a lot of different cool stuff, and
still one life.
I don't belong to anybody, but I don't mind. It's a good life. I live a very enjoyable, independent life.
Oh, the connection's back. Yay.
So where are we at?
So this is why I can't fucking have my camera on OBS. I don't know how to use it. Could get audio fine, but not anything else.
Stevie says, and I don't know if we're still live or if we've been frozen or something, but it should be good. Stevie says, have you ever seen that video where the ex-CIA guy says they can turn any phone into a listening device? I'm going to take that a step further for you, okay? If you have any Bluetooth device, it doesn't matter if it's headphones, it doesn't matter if it's a cell phone, it doesn't matter if it's an AirTag, if it has, or a car, even a car, if it has Bluetooth, there is an ability for someone to listen through it. And I will tell you that at this point in American history, in American society, law enforcement does have the ability to tap into any Bluetooth device at any point in time, whether it's powered on or not. They do not have to power it on in order to listen through it. The U.S. military has that ability. Law enforcement has that ability. A lot of layman people who are criminals who, what really defines them as a criminal is that they choose to engage in practices that are not meant for civilian life in the civilian sector, such as, tapping a Bluetooth device without permission, using, radio jammers, things like that. You're really not supposed to do that in the civilian world. Like, I won't even use a VPN because just due to my experience and my skill set, if I use a VPN, I automatically get put on a watch list. And that's based on,
No.
like whatever your personal capabilities are. If you're a trained or skilled individual, there's nothing wrong with that. But there's a standard and protocol for people who are living in the civilian environment who are trained beyond the civilian level.
You can't use a VPN. Apparently,
it doesn't mean that you're a threat, but
Okay.
getting a VPN is enough to get put on a watch list. Just so you know, if you don't have training, it's different. But if you are someone who has proven your ability in the past, either in the field or at home domestically, then there's the potentiality of that.
Yeah, if you don't get the right to privacy if you're fucking trained
for you.
in CIA.
And it's not a secret. You can Google it. It's just most people don't really look into that type of thing.
Yeah, might
Thanks
as
for
well
the
use
follows.
own word salad. You're right, Kratos. Hey, Butterfly.
Okay. Well, I have to pee. So give me like 2 minutes. Just take this time to follow real quick, and I will be right back. My name is James. I pretty much just live stream whatever I want, and that's it. I mean, I literally have gone over 3 majorly different topics this morning. Like just in the past 2.5, 3 hours, I've gone over like 3 topics that have been totally different from each other. And I would just come up with something, I start talking about it, and I said, that's not what I do all the time, but that's just what we're doing today. Today is my 3rd of 12 birthday days, and I am enjoying my morning quite profusely. So, talk to you very soon. Give me 2 seconds, just follow up real quick. I just gotta click the mute. I gotta find mute. I gotta click the mute button.
Okay. Well, while he's doing this, let's see if the thing's recorded that I told them to. Ooh. 44 minutes. At what time was this at? 9:05. Okay. Shit, bro. Really? That's crazy. So he's getting up earlier now? Fuck James. That's okay. I'm never gonna bring me down. Whoa. I can't even sing my song. We outlived. We outstreamed James last year. We can do it this year. I've been not even. I've just been saying like, oh, we gotta get ready for James when he comes back. So I should have been mentally prepared. I should have been preparing myself for the 9 months he was in jail. So I feel like, I don't know, I'm just gonna tell myself I am prepared. But Jesus jumping Jehovah's Witnesses, like I don't know. I need some better coffee or something.
All right. Only caught the tail end of the deplatforming topic. Yeah. Okay. So here, I'll tell you what I want. I want the people who are making videos about people and traumatizing their audience and traumatizing the people who
This
have
is
made
what I think about
mistakes
me.
to not be allowed to make those videos. I don't want not be allowed to make those videos on those platforms, because those platforms are so easily and so often accessed by children, accessed by families, accessed by people who experience mental illness, who are seeking somewhere that they can engage in content without being traumatized. You know, if you want to make something that is a little more risque or a little more negative, there's Tumblr. You can find boobs on Tumblr if you're really that obsessed.
Okay.
You can go to Reddit. You can go to the dark web. There's plenty of places that you can go on the internet for things that really most people don't want to see. YouTube and TikTok are not the place for traumatizing videos about abuse, pedophilia, or theft. Like, move on and let it go. Those are places that are supposed to be safe for families and children.
I don't know how theft is related to those other two.
Should we be able to make, you know, certain adult oriented videos on those platforms? Sure. But like, there's a category for that, you know? And you have people making inappropriate and traumatizing videos that are marking those videos as made for kids, because there isn't anything in the videos that would necessarily make it not made for kids according to those terms of service. And then you got parents that are having their children finding videos about like some really, inappropriate stuff on the platforms. You know, if you're that obsessed with NFSW, if you're that obsessed with OnlyFans type content, go to OnlyFans. If you're that obsessed with the drama and the trauma, go to Tumblr. Go to another platform. Go to Reddit. You want drama? Go to Reddit. You'll have a lot of fun. But in my opinion, YouTube at this point is so family oriented that there shouldn't have to be a made for kids button. We shouldn't have to, as creators, have to click the button to say whether or not it's made for kids. I mean, I think it's ridiculous. Like, of course, it's YouTube. It's supposed to be at least appropriate should a child decide to tune into it. If it's on YouTube or it's on TikTok, then it should be something that wouldn't be negative for a child to see. And if it is negative for a child to see, in my opinion, it doesn't belong on YouTube or TikTok.
I don't know about that,
and that's
James.
Just the way I see it. And that's my opinion. And I've shared my opinion and I'm sticking to it. I think that YouTube and TikTok should change their terms of service to make their platforms 100% family oriented. I can tell you as a creator, it definitely challenges me to behave more appropriately and more maturely. And it also removes the possibility of inappropriate content on the platform altogether, because at that point, the algorithm will make sure that that content doesn't survive on the platform, or is at least deprioritized. Steve says, oh, well, what creator is doing that? We should report them. That's not my place. It's not my place to, my role in society is right now to be building my own platform. That's what I'm supposed to be doing. Okay. My job is not to be even talking about what I'm talking about right now. But nobody's talking about it. Nobody's doing anything about it. And something has to be done. So it's like, I can't move on in my career. I can't grow any further in my career until something is done about the terms of service on YouTube and the terms of service on TikTok. They need to get rid of the abusive content. All of it. Of any kind. And they're not going to do that until they get rid of the Made for Kids button and make all of YouTube and all of TikTok appropriate and proper for any audience. I can tell you, like, to this day now, right? Like, I'm 30 years old. I'm an adult. There's stuff that I like to watch that isn't necessarily made for kids, such as like like there's certain types of video game content that's a little more violent.
Let me see.
It's like say first person shooters that are that have blood and gore in them, right?
How breezy it is.
Well, that for some families wouldn't be considered made for a kid. What's the you are not making enough money in that industry to justify keeping all that on your platform, and you're not censoring to an inappropriate level to not have that on your platform. You're protecting families and children from witnessing what appears to be real life violence, especially with the content and the graphics that are available today. I am an avid Call of Duty player, and I'm good at it too. I mean, not to sound bad, but I'm pretty good at it. And I still don't find it appropriate for that content to be on YouTube. I just don't. And there's places like Twitch exists, and Twitch is not completely family oriented. And nobody's interested in having Twitch become family oriented anytime soon. So why not use it? Why not use Twitch instead of using playing video games online and live streaming them is much more popular on Twitch than it is on YouTube. So that's how I see it. Sandra says, you love Animal Crossing. Cool. When I was younger, I think I played Animal Crossing a couple of times. I've never gotten too much into it, but I heard it was a fun game. Okay, so we are about to go in somewhere because I gotta get me a portable battery. So when I go up around this way one more time, I am going to see if I can buy a portable battery. And you know what? No, forget him. I'll tell you what. I got this buddy who keeps making me promises and doesn't keep them. I don't care. I'm not even bringing it up anymore. I'm glad when you watch the show, but if you're going to keep telling me you're going to do something, you don't do it, and you think something's funny about that, you don't exist in my life. We're not friends. Yeah. Don't say we're friends. Don't try and tell me or make the notion that we're friends, because it reminds me of when a fan page follows me and then that fan page says, how long have you been my fan? Like you're trying to force me into a commitment that I never made to begin with. For example, I followed this one WWE star, and then one of her fan pages followed me and messaged me and said, thank you for the follow back. How long have you been my fan? I never followed that page to begin with. And so I have there's people that exist in my life that will be acting like we're friends or I know them.
This fucking yellow bar that says "We're receiving
trying to tell me how it is and what I'm going to do.
Smooth streaming.
And I'm I don't remember meeting
and then it gets
you
me to
to
open
begin
a widget,
with. I met a friend
and then it doesn't give me any solutions.
I'm not.
And this is why I hate OBS.
And I'm not going to become affiliated with you when you're so forward.
Wow,
we didn't make an agreement like that.
Thanks.
I have a friend that happens to be
I literally don't know what to do.
Who happens to be in your circle. Or I made a friend that happens to be a part of your organization.
Sometimes it gets better.
Voiced
I literally
my
don't. I have no.
In support of your organization, right? Or organizations. And I like what you do, but that doesn't mean that I'm one of you. And it doesn't mean that I am now all of a sudden interested in getting to know every single person and doing every single thing that you do. And I'm thankful for the invite. But the fact of the matter is I don't really take it as an invite. I take it as a pressuring, because you're not really asking me to do what you do or to be involved with what you do. You're kind of trying to tell me that I'm going to and that I don't have a choice. And I definitely have a choice. And if you forgot that I have a choice, I am doing my best this morning to communicate properly and effectively that I most definitely have a choice. And not choosing you or your organization isn't going to negatively affect my life. And if it does, then I will be more than happy to accept a check from your organization for emotional damage. I got no issues with that. I ain't going to sue you, but I'll accept the money so we don't have to go to court. What I'm really saying is I'm not going to extort you, but I'm trying to properly communicate to help you recognize that you are attempting to extort me. And it's a really bad idea because I am better at the law than you are. You're good at cheating in the law. You're good at circumventing the law, but I am good at actually using the law. And that's why I never have to use it. I actually understand how the law works. I might not know the particulars, right? But all you got to do is put it in front of me one time and I'm doing pretty good with it. Let me catch up on these comments and I'll give you an example. Good morning, Fonz. Cassandra goes, they're everywhere. I know. Oh my gosh, they're so bad. It's just how they work. I know. It's terrible. It's so terrible. Okay. All right. So now that I've learned how to be effectively passive aggressive, just teasing, just joking. What do you call it? Where am I going with this? What was I saying? Freaking A. Okay, yeah, so an example is, I'm not going to say where or when this happened, because it's best that I don't to protect the privacy of all parties, but I recently had somebody add me on Facebook that I had met in a very particular situation, and he had explained to me how his ex, and no, I am not referencing myself, I am telling you, I am explaining to you a situation that happened to another person who's comfortable with me sharing the experience with you, even to the point of sharing their name, but I'm going to choose not to be sharing their name because I don't want to. So this individual had a child with a woman and was in a relationship with her for about 10 years. So what had happened was this woman decided that she was going to try to leverage their child to keep him away from her after she scammed him for a lot of money and property, right? And so what she did was she gained custody and then tried to use a PFA, which is this is very common in the state of Pennsylvania. She tried to reverse engineer what a PFA is supposed to be used for, right? She tried to she tried to flip the PFA to keep him away from their son and to keep his property and his stuff. Well, it turns out that the state of Pennsylvania has a law,
PFA's protection from
some
abuse
type
order,
of code, right? Something that was created. It's like it's literally called like the Fatherhood Initiative or something like that. And what it does is it prevents women from using a PFA to pressure the man in the relationship or the other party in the relationship from it prevents them from parental gatekeeping. And what parental gatekeeping is when one parent uses the law to keep the other parent away from the child, and the law related to keeping the parent away from the child isn't directly related to the child. And as long as you're able to prove that the parent has used parental gatekeep, that the parent has used an inappropriate section of the law, as long as you can prove that the law was used to keep the parent away from the child, and that law that was used
doesn't apply to James
about
though.
the child at all,
I don't know why James is thinking this.
It
Why is
pretty
this
much
in your
gets
brain,
rid
James?
of whatever was kept between the parent and the child. So essentially what had happened was the mom had used a PFA to keep the dad away from the child and also to gain access to and control of his property and his assets. And so what had happened was when I met him, I had already been told and taught about parental gatekeeping and, the misuse of PFAs and how you can leverage that, turn it around and get everything back, right? And if I was concerned about anything in reference to that topic, I would already be trying to I'd be like doing something about it now instead of being so much in control of the situation that I don't even have to talk about it in reference to me. I don't have to do anything about it. I have so much right now that anything anyone else has is it's nothing. I mean, literally nothing. I have so much, it's not even funny. But I don't plan on ever using it because I just don't live that way. I just use it to keep myself safe in case anyone were to ever try and come in my direction, from my past or people that have misused the law and broken the law to get what they want out of me. So what I ended up doing was teaching this guy I taught this guy about how the PFA actually worked. I taught him about how parental gatekeeping works, like how to stop it from happening to him. And I taught him about that law that, you know, the fatherhood. It's like, I don't remember what it's called, but it's called like the Fatherhood Initiative. And I taught him about it. And what he ended up doing was taking her to court. He went the next day and called his lawyer and told his lawyer about that initiative. And not only did it get him out of that current charge, but it also got him out of jail, got the charges dropped that were previously pressed on him that he had to pay bail on, got him custody of his son, got his assets and property returned to him, and got her put in prison. And I am describing to you the exact scenario that would have happened in my life should I have decided to take action.
Yeah, no.
I didn't.
Yeah, no.
Because I have a very big life. I have a lot going on. And I made the most mature and responsible decision I could make. And I'm continuing to make with everything that I am having to handle in my own life. I handle far more than I tell you guys about. And
excellent
it's best
connection
for me to move
again.
very,
So
very
I
slow with
literally,
things.
I can't
I
do
have
anything
so
except just wait
much
for this.
leadership, responsibility, and
Wait
control
for
in the
that
position that I'm in society right
and
now.
read
And
about
with the amount of
shit that I
leverage
don't
that I have
fucking
over the people
understand.
that have
So,
attempted to do
yeah,
me
Jillian
wrong,
Paris, I don't know. Like,
you know, I'm good.
I am.
All right, you know, and it might look that it might look like I'm accepting my situation. It might look like I'm tolerating the situation. It might look like I am resting on my laurels, or
All I need is
you know,
equipment
just
that works.
like
That's it.
being
That's all.
lazy about the
That's all I fucking
situation.
want.
But
That's
I'm
all I
not.
need. That's all I ask
am
for.
being rather proactive and utilizing, you know, everything I got to make
Only as
sure
good
that
as
my
my
future
fucking
looks the way that it's supposed to, and that the people who are supposed to be in my future, whether they want to be or not, are going to be in my future, whether they want to be or not. It doesn't mean that they're going to be somewhere they don't want to be. I don't hold people captive. Hint, hint. But with that said, I will make sure that the people who have made commitments to me keep their commitments. I don't have anybody formerly in my life that I want in my life in any way, shape, or form that they may have agreed to. But there are certain commitments that have to be kept for the sake of their health and future, because there are people from my past who have made commitments to me who won't have a future and will go to prison unless they keep those commitments, because those agreements that they made based on the decisions they made with me and what they tried to get away with and take from me was all documented and recorded, some of which was literally on camera. And the evidence in the opposite direction, anything against me, is nothing compared to what I got on them. And so instead of leveraging it against them, which I wouldn't mind, like you guys know how good I am at taking a hit.
What are you talking about?
I mean, it'd be nothing. It'd be absolutely nothing. I'm just moving forward, and I'm making sure that within a couple of years, the chess pieces are in place and people are where they're supposed to be and doing what they're supposed to be doing. The people that have made those commitments to me. And if they change their mind and they want to be near me, then I might give them that opportunity.
Just stay on the fucking walk of
But
fame,
otherwise, I mean, I'm not really trying to make things the way they used to be. I'm just making sure that they understand that they were never in control to begin with, at least not with me. And, when you make a commitment to me or an agreement with me, you don't get to back out.
Oh, you're
It doesn't matter
Cassandra?
if the U.S.
Yeah, he
government
didn't like the scammers comment.
is being circumvented and you have people misusing the law to try and force someone into or pull someone out of a situation. It doesn't matter if you have, criminals or individuals that you think you can use to pressure someone into or out of something. You can come at me with a machete and I'm still going to just grab it with my hand as you try to swing and then send you on your way.
Machete.
And then get a whole bunch of cigarettes from the woman that didn't get her head cut off.
James has one kid that he
I'm
does
going to handle
not
the
have
situation. So
any parental rights or custody
anybody that is
over.
in my former environment who thinks they're in control really needs to chill out and keep moving on, because there will come a day where you're in my gravity, and when you're in my gravity, you cannot escape. And if you want to make sure you have a proper landing, you best learn some respect.
James is getting bigger, his gravity field's getting larger.
Or I will take everything you have and leave you sleeping on a grate to teach you a lesson. I've had it done to me. I don't got a problem with that. I learned, so I don't have to do it twice. I don't have to go back and
see if it's
do it
going
again in
back
a
to
different
the
way.
stupid thing.
But
Could be
you will
okay.
do it either in my place, in my footsteps, or on your
Could be
own, in your
okay
own
now,
path, if I so
hopefully.
choose. And I do have that much
Hopefully.
social power. I do. And I earn that. And I will use it if I have to. And I'm having one of those days where I'm having to put my foot down and remind people that Steb is home. And James Soroka is done playing games.
Oh,
And if you want to teach me a lesson, do it out here. Don't try to bring me into your court. Don't try to bring me into your game and then tell me that you're tough, because this isn't my arena. I don't have an arena. I don't.
I thought this
So
was
if you
his
think you're so
arena.
big and tough, meet me out here and show me what you're capable of. We're not going to fight. We're not going to throw hands. We're not going to get into the drama. You're going to show me that you can do what I do, and then you'll gain my respect.
Walk
But if you're going to
around.
tell me you're better than me, and then you got a lesson to teach me, but you can't make it on these streets, don't even try telling me, because I don't want to hear it.
Definitely.
I don't
I
care
could
if you're a
definitely walk
politician.
around and
I don't
fucking
care if
talk
you're a
into a
religious
phone.
leader. I don't care if you're the Pope. If you're not doing it, don't tell me how to do what I do. That's where I'm leaving.
Yeah.
You were put in a position of delegation. You were not put in a position of power. There is a difference. The power you have is delegated to you. It is not your power. You were trusted to utilize that power properly, and when you don't, it gets taken from you. My power is being used properly, and a lot of the power that I have was not delegated to me. It is actually mine. And if you would like some, you give me the respect, and I might give you some. You don't give me the respect, and you're not getting any. And if you want the power I have delegated to me, you have to talk to the proper authorities and gain it. But you're not going to get it from me by trying to discredit me, because I didn't get it by discrediting
No
anyone.
more games.
I got the
We're
power
using
I
our
got
actual
delegated to
name
me from
again.
society
James
by
Soroka.
refusing to discredit people, by refusing to give people criminal charges, by refusing to let people just fall apart on the street. If you have to learn a lesson, you can enjoy the street, you'll learn a lesson, but it doesn't mean it has to be forever. If that's not going to teach you, there's prison. If that's not going to teach you, there's making sure it takes a lot longer to get you where you want to get to, yeah. And that's that. But every now and again, I do have to take on the biggest guy in the room. I do have to walk down the street and remind people that I'm still me. And the version of me that you get is the version of me that you ask for, because I'm a provider. And I try to make sure that you get what you want. Now, if you like if you want the version of me that you enjoy more so than usual, you're gonna have to work harder to get them. You want to rile me up? That's fine. Just be ready to have a really long day and do a lot of walking. Be ready to have to turn your car around 5 or 6 different times to get where you're trying to get to. If you don't,
I
like
didn't
that,
even
then
realize
don't
either.
Pick on
I
me,
thought he
because I'm
started at
busy,
10.
and I don't got time for the drama.
But he did not.
On the opposite end, you give me that respect, I'll make sure you don't even have to get out of your car. You'll make your money without even having to leave home. I
We're
don't
living
control your life,
Groundhog
but I
Day, by
control
the
my
way.
own finances,
Daisy's gonna go
and I have
live
a
while
lot
this
of pull
fucking idiot's
and a lot of
live,
financial
and
circles.
everything's gonna repeat
And
just like
even
it did
moving your car
yesterday.
forward half
The
an
only
inch
thing
when
I'm
I'm
proud
walking
of
by
is that I got
is
the
enough
fucking Allen video
to be
done.
getting your to be getting
That's
your
good.
license plate on satellite, and now you're going to enjoy driving a beater instead of driving a nice
He
big
is.
Durango.
He's talking about his
It's
ex.
that simple.
And his
I
family.
don't play,
and he
especially
doesn't
not
have
on
a
a
family,
day
but yeah.
when we got a whole lot going on the street. They're filming something. I don't know what they're doing, but I'm really out of sorts about how people are behaving. It's really upsetting me. So I'm being real particular. So for the guy that just recorded me walking by, that's fine. You're going to lose your phone, but that's fine. This is real. Like, we're not playing. We're not playing at all.
Guy will keep his phone.
You guys
trust me.
keep trying to steal from me, so I brought in the big boys. And we're not playing.
Whatever, dude. Funny guy.
I knew I saw that guy somewhere. And I knew I liked him for some reason. I just didn't understand why until now. First off, he's smoking hot. Second off, I ain't going to talk about the rest. Wow, the cop just tried to tell me to cross the street. He must not like his job. All right, where are we at? Yeah, it's paranoia until you wonder where your badge went. Just saying. There is someone who wants your job more than you. I can teach you about that if you need me to. And in order to be put into this industry and actually be a part of what they're doing, I have to give up the power that I have. And I'm comfortable giving up that power, but I'm smart enough not to give up the power that I got in society until I actually get a role somewhere. You know, I'm not going to succumb to the societal norms and obey the rules. I can obey the law, and I do. I don't have to obey the rules. And if you want me in a film, well, first you're going to put me in a film. And then I'm going to say, okay, I trust you a little bit more, and I'm willing to bend my own will, give up some of my power, wear some more of them chains, and succumb to your authority. Because your authority is an option, right? The authority is not an option, but your authority is an option. I will never bow to your authority as much as I bow to the authority of Jesus Christ or my country. I'm not going to. But if you want my obedience and commitment, you have to show me, because I have more power than your entire organization as an individual, and I have proven that on these streets, that you are worthy of my time, not on an individual basis, but as a conglomerated business. I don't want or need your organization's protection. I am able to protect myself, and I have law enforcement as a backup if I need them. When I need them, right? But these organizations that think they're going to force me into commitment, well, I could tell you there have been businesses on this boulevard that have been shut down because of their attempts to gain control over my creative process. Literally. I'm not exaggerating. I'm not moving on just yet. I'm pretty hard on this one. This matters to me quite a bit. All right, we'll move on. But I'm heated about it. I'm really heated about it. I'm not going to lie to you. We all experience jealousy in some way. And right now, I already know that I'm actually supposed to be on that movie set down there because I know my timeline. And I got so many scumbags on the street here that are messing with my life and screwing up my creative process that I am not a part of that production.
What
And
production?
instead, I'm here walking the street. And so I will chew through every single one of those businesses and every organization necessary. And it's legal. I am 100% in a position where I am allowed to keep it out of court and meet them on the streets and put them in their place. I will chew through every business, every organization, every individual that stands in the way of me having my career where it's supposed to be.
So everyone has to suffer
now,
because
I am
no one wants James to be in a
14
movie.
months behind.
He hasn't even tried to be in a
14
movie.
months behind because of how many organizations that have existed here in Hollywood since its inception have tried to gain control over my creative decisions. And I refused. And they said, no, you're going to work with us. We know you're that good. We're going to force you. I said, no, I will take you down legally, not within the law, not like in court, but like I will, by my own processes that are legal, I will chase you out of Hollywood before you gain control of me. And they said, no, there's no way. You're paranoid. You have delusions of
Another
grandeur. You're a
conversation he had with
narcissist.
himself.
And now they're either in another state or in another country. So essentially what I'm saying is, for those of you that know where I belong, do me a favor. Before I gotta go any more hardcore than I'm already going, and I'm at a 1 out of 11, put me in your production. Let me show you what I can do without you being in control of my creative process. Let me prove to you my ability to maintain my high level of obedience
You-
to you intentionally.
How? You're describing the opposite of
without the need
obedience.
for you to control what I do.
No one can control me. I'm so obedient, though. How the fuck does that
I've
work?
shown my commitment to Hollywood and my obedience to Hollywood. I've shown my commitment and my obedience to law enforcement, my willingness to remain within the law, regardless of my power and ability to navigate, circumvent, and operate outside of it if I so chose. And I want to make that third commitment to the media industry and prove to you my ability to obey your laws and statutes and your rules without you needing to be in control of my choices. I have made sure to have more leverage on the people and organizations that I recognize would more than likely be in my timeline in the
Right,
future
Chris?
in my life
Get right.
before you ever found out about me. I want to work for you. I'm not going to try to force you to get me to work for you the way that you have tried to force me to work for you. But I will say that I have the proper leverage to ensure that you cannot take over my creative process. And instead of trying to take it to a stalemate, I want you to recognize that based on my prior behavior here in Hollywood, that I am so committed to my craft that I will starve your organization of resources before you gain control of my creative process. And for some of you, you remember me having these types of conversations in reference to the society, and then in reference to the law, and now in reference to the industry, right? I checkmated the society, and so I got the respect. I checkmated law enforcement, and so I got the respect. I do not.
Went
It will
to jail
break
3
my
times. You're
heart
living on the streets.
if I have
Society
to
does not
checkmate
like you.
the media industry in Hollywood to gain the respect. If you're telling me that to you, I am such a piece of trash that you're not willing to work with me unless you have control of my life, then I'm not worthy of it anyway, and I don't deserve the job. So either change your mind, or I'm going to have to change mine. Because honestly, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to checkmate the media industry. I could. I'm not going to prove
you've
it. I
already
would rather you
checkmated
think that
everyone
I'm
else, why not?
lying than go to war in my second marriage. I'm not going to do it. Nope. I will sooner find a career that I hate than go to war with an industry that I love. And then there's the breaks. You know, I love my country because I'm an American. I love law enforcement because it's within my family, and you know things of certain natures that I'm not in a proper position or at liberty to discuss with you. But the media industry, media is my personal passion.
He's very
And
loud.
I'm not going to fight beyond what I'm telling you. I will simply sit back, allow society to have its own personal silent uproars, get rid of whoever needs to be ridden of, legally speaking, not necessarily
so.
in an inappropriate fashion.
What was the comment?
Let whatever organizations or studios close down that would need to be closed down, open up whatever needs to get opened up. But one way or the other, I'm going to be getting in. But honestly, I'm not going to fight with my own passion. I'm not going to fight with people that exist
Sometimes
within the passion
YouTube
that I have.
removes comments.
And I would much
automatically.
rather take a passive stance and allow things to happen on their own. And then whenever it's time, I'll step in. And I'm going to do that very similar to what I'm doing with, the passion that I once had for one individual that I have to allow life to take its, I have to allow the people that were once in my life to mature and grow in their own way, to be ready for being anywhere near me, and we're not there yet. The people that were once in my life are not yet at a point where they are ready to receive me as an individual in their life. And I'm beginning to feel that I'm starting to feel like the media industry may not yet be ready for me. And I'm realizing after having a little bit of a rant and going off a little bit that, maybe it would have been healthier for me to make a choice to say and go passive back there, not wait till here. But I've done my best. I've done the best I could possibly do, I just, at the end of the day, I'd like to remind everyone that bad things do happen when the things that are supposed to happen don't happen.
Okay, what? Things get wet? Is this the city water he doesn't like? Oh, I don't like. Better not step in the city water. Are we all in agreement
in a space of understanding now? Just asking. As I watch my spit go down the sewage river.
Yeah.
Do we see where things are at now? Do we understand? Are we in agreement? Are we in recognition that those who are in control and in power are in control and in power? And that will not change. And if you do not submit to the authority, you will be submitted to the authority. I am in obedience to my predecessors. I am in obedience to the people that are metaphorically above me, as they say. And the people that control and run this country have decided that I am to be in the media industry and that I am to have a proper place here in Hollywood. And you do not have to like or agree with it. But when I tell you that mountains will be moved before they change their mind or before I don't end up where I'm supposed to be, they will be. And they're already starting to get pretty mad. If you haven't noticed, they're already starting to get pretty upset. And even furthermore, if you haven't noticed, with the things that I'm saying, as they may sound insane, if I was really that crazy, why am I still out here a year and a half later after walking around Hollywood for 6 straight months barefoot? My name is Steb, and yes, our people own and run Hollywood. And if you don't like it, you can leave. We give you an equal world. We give you a space right here that you cannot experience any other place, anywhere. I wasn't privileged enough to get put in this position. I come from a very intelligent and fair family. And that family decided, that extended family decided that this is where I am to be based on my skills, based on what I was born with, and also based on what I've worked on and how good I've gotten at it. I will claim that I am one of the best actors. Doesn't mean that I'm good at reading a script. Doesn't mean that I'm good on the books and all that just yet. But in the most simple of senses, I am one of the best and one of the most capable, given the opportunity, actors in Hollywood. And if you doubt that, challenge me on it. Come out here and challenge me on it, and I will show you that I am that good of an actor.
Mental institution?
Because even right now, I am acting.
That's weird.
And you wouldn't know it unless I told you.
I think James is crazy. I don't think he's acting. I think he's just crazy.
And how do I know you wouldn't know it unless I told you? Because you just called me paranoid. I am paranoid. I'm acting. Thank you for being a good and obedient audience.
Let me know when it's Daisy.
So Stevie says that Judge Judy hates when women misuse the PFA. Yeah, most of us do. It's a rather unbecoming behavior. Yeah, there's nothing else to it. There's really not anything else to it. Yeah, like I said, some people might be like, we can cut this video and take out certain pieces and take it to court. Well, guess what? This full video is being recorded, and if you take it to court, you're going to prison. You will. Okay, I'm sorry, I'm lying to you. You're going to go to prison because you're getting caught right now trying to take it to court. That's why you're going to prison. It's conspiracy. Conspiracy is a crime. I don't know if you knew that. And the reason conspiracy can so easily get you put in prison as opposed to committing the crime is because conspiracy is a very serious thing. And it's pretty easy to prove. So most people know that I am not a part of or involved in any conspiracy, and that's a fact. But those of you who have made attempts to affect or, negatively circumvent the process to create a more difficult situation for me in the acting industry, get out now. Like, I'm kind enough to tell you that. Get out of the situation now and stop trying to make me look bad, because you're probably going to go to prison. Just letting you know. They're already trying to get you sent to prison. I've been the one saying don't do it, but I was just assuming you guys stopped doing what you're doing, and you didn't. So, not my problem. Oh, you're good. Oh, you're cool. Yeah, I'm not a dick. Don't worry. Yeah, I might come off passive aggressive, but I'm actually not that way. Like, I'm not your atypical person in this industry. I'm the type of person that really will wait till the last moment to strike, and I only strike if you decide to be prey. And if you're not prey, then you're minding your own business, and I'm praying to God so that things will keep working out for me. But what I have learned to do is go on offense when necessary. So before, it was just if my life was at risk, I would go on offense. But now, if my career is at risk, I go on offense. Because if you're not going to protect, especially in this industry and in this area particularly, if you're not going to protect your career, expect somebody to take it. Because it really does work that way. In Hollywood, it works that way. Now, I can't speak for the rest of the world. I can't speak for other states. I can't speak for other parts of the state. But I can tell you, for here in Hollywood, if you're in the media industry, you better protect your career the way you protect your life, or you might not keep it, because it's really, really tough. It's a lot harder than most people think it is. It's not a matter of if you want it. Like, you can be obsessed with the media industry and obsessed with having a career in media, and that's still not enough. It's not. If you really want it that bad, you're putting everything into it. And even then, it still takes time.
What has James actually done to try to
enough,
get a movie role or
but
anything?
it still takes
He just
time.
walks on the street and tells people he can't read a script. Just trust him. He doesn't even know what the movie's about. He's just going to be the main fucking star.
I just live streamed this entire thing. Both law enforcement and laymen are taking this broadcast and recording it and saving it. And we're using the security cameras to catch the people that are riling me up as I'm going down the street, and they're gonna look into you and have you arrested because what you're doing is conspiracy.
Is he talking to us, Phil?
And it's a crime. What conspiracy is it? I don't know, but that's just what I was told. That part's not my job. I was told to stay out of it, so I said, all right, I'll stay out of it. But I tell you because you're already caught. If we didn't catch you already and already know who it was doing it, then I wouldn't say it. But whenever someone decides to be prey, I like to sometimes play with my food before I eat it,
Did
That's
he
what I
ban
learned
Stevie
to do
Meaning?
as a human animal. Sometimes I like to play with my food first. So when you play around,
I'm gonna have
with
to
me
use like change,
in this media
like
industry,
literal change, like money.
You can either
like
be my
coins,
friend or you can
to
be
buy
my
5
food.
hour energy today. That's
and I don't care which you choose.
I don't even know what's going on.
One way
in
or the
life,
other, I'm
guys.
doing what I do.
I don't know what's
I'm a
happening.
really nice guy. I'm really compassionate. I
My
care a
brain
whole
is not
lot, and I do
fucking
everything good that I possibly could. But when you're the bad guy, I'm going to match your energy, and I'm either going to put you in your place or I'm going to take you out of it.
James had never
And that's that.
taken anybody out. I wonder what his apartment looks like. This one chair and no bed. And his ice cube baths. I was gonna throw the landlord $50 for. I don't know if you guys were there.
Yeah,
for
and like
that
I said,
yesterday.
So for me, I'm pretty good at evaluating someone's level of mental health. And if I have somebody trying to ask me about those types of situations, I block it immediately, either, for the protection of their mental health or just the protection of my own protection. Because there's only one of two probabilities when it comes to somebody when it comes to something like ignorance. I'm sorry, but nobody's that ignorant. Not even a child.
I
is
didn't
that
advance
ignorant.
you mean yet.
When somebody asks a question in reference to what I just talked to you guys about, they're either one of two things. They're either somebody that's involved,
You
or
make a
there's
lot of
someone that's
sense.
just trying to
That'll
stir the
keep
pot.
us in.
One or
good
the other.
graces.
I'm sorry, but it's never anything but one or the other. And so for me, the most appropriate thing to do is to hit the block button, either for the sake of their mental health or for the sake of my
Probably over
my own
100.
personal
Snarky.
protection. Sometimes
Probably
you got to
over
use that
100.
block button. There ain't nothing wrong with it. Doesn't make you look weak. You're setting the example for people that shouldn't have people, that maybe, want to see an example of someone who's actually setting healthy and appropriate boundaries.
Heather's back?
Oh,
Is she
excuse me.
actually back?
All right.
Not just like another tease. She gonna go live?
Thanks, Stevie. And you guys will see me, like, for those of you that have like long-term experience with me on social media, you will see people that are like criminals and scammers and abusive people and like psychopaths that don't come into
Yes, and
you'll
the
see it.
bracelet.
Stick with me. Even just the past 2 or 3 days, like, you guys have witnessed people come into my broadcast, try to befriend me, say the nicest things, then turn around and try to either start asking questions they shouldn't ask or trying to make me look stupid or crazy, right? Like, you're seeing it in real time. It does happen. It actually, those experiences exist. And so, I've gotten very, very good at handling that. And like I said, I was just looking back at a guy who has a shop that I'll be getting rid of later on. And it's a shame too, because some of these people that are in business, they've been in business for some of them have been in business for 30, 40, 50 years, but it's just society is changing and society doesn't want them to have so much control anymore. They want to have, delegated control. They want a more liberal society. It's what they're seeking. And so I don't know what I would call myself, honestly. But what I will say is that there are people who are in the Hollywood community that are bullying people. I may be the new guy, but I am the guy who has enough to put people in
Jesus
their place.
definitely slid off
And
the
I will
crack.
happily spend it on the Hollywood community to get people in a better situation, in a better position, based on what America as a whole needs, what our country needs, not just what somebody wants or, somebody's got their own plans or this guy's got their plans. Well, I'll tell you what, I'm a guy that spends a lot of time with a lot of different types of people. And I don't even like using the word different all that often. But the fact of the matter is, I'm pretty good with this. I trust myself with it. If you don't like it, you're welcome to challenge me. But if you try to force me under your control, you're going to harm your society. You're going to hurt your people. Because I am someone that is either helpful or useful and never anything different than that. And whether you see me as someone that you want in your personal environment, if you want me as someone in your personal environment, I'm helpful. If you are someone that wants me in your professional environment,
see, this is the other reason too that I have been not
figuring out
jumping to stream snipe James. Is
connect
like
with me to be able to,
if I can't comment
create a
to
better
him without
situation
him
for
banning
yourself,
everyone,
or
there's no point.
utilize me
Like, I can't pause
to be
him.
able to
He just
create a better
steamrolls, right? Like, he's just going
situation
and
for your
going and going and
business.
going. I can't even, like, I don't know,
Hello,
try to
how are
close
you?
some of his loops or anything. I'm retired, not R-worded. That's James's catchphrase.
So, I am at a point where, so essentially when I was homeless in Hollywood, I had a whole bunch of people that worked really hard to try and make me look crazy. And I got a lot of them fired. I got a lot of those businesses shut down. And I got a lot of people run out of town. And,
Still not
a
even
lot
a
of
month
people
yet.
put into better housing
Be a
situations
month.
to,
on, like, the
to get them
12th.
away from
Be
the
a
people
month
that
he's
were
been
controlling their lives. And so I created enemies here and there. And so whenever I receded to, regain my stature and, to continue to take care of my mental health, I made sure to come back with the proper resources to be prepared for the enemies that I made. And so I guess to the enemies that I did make, I want to properly communicate to you in order for you to appropriately understand and accurately deduce what might be the best thing to do. I am going to win this one too. And when I tell you I'm a shoo-in for it, I mean, if you win one round, it is because I let you. I will walk just to
Apparently
relate
he's not
to
on
you from the
probation.
physicality to the mentality, okay?
I thought
So on a
too.
physical basis,
I mean,
and my
death threats are
mentality is
never
very
a good
similar.
thing, but
to be comparative. Physically, I will walk the
Blocking a run
Hollywood
again.
Boulevard for 12 hours, either at a running, like a fast jogging
not
pace,
blocking Stevie
while
Meany.
walking,
Not yet,
or-
anyways.
I will,
Let me try to
what do you call it? Actually be jogging.
creative
but
here.
sometimes
I
I
think
actually
we
will
can
jog
get it.
around a boulevard.
rage quit.
And then I will go to the gym for an hour or 2 or 3, sometimes 4. That
Not my
is my
half.
current
Here's
low
my
standard, like my low balling physical fitness level. My mental capability is to a level that some people don't understand how to conceptualize what I'm capable of, to the point where it either excites them or scares them. So what I'm telling you is, even if you are someone who has existed and lived here for a very long time, the lineage I come from created your people, your culture, like especially actually speaking to some who, you know, are tasked with the delegation of this society, of this Hollywood community. Your people literally come from my people. We literally birthed your culture into existence thousands of years ago. So even if I might not have the active conscious capability of problem solving the situation, or, you know, winning in the dynamics of the civil situation, I have a biologically inherent ability to dominate your people, your culture, and your career should it become necessary. What I'm telling you is, in the times that you decide to attempt to put my life at risk, you're sending me into an archaic, fear-based, dominant mindset that in this environment especially, I will always win, because I am engineered to be biologically superior to you. And our people created your people, and thus, when you rebel against our people by trying to dominate those of us that are the dominant, we are going to put you in your place and remind you of where you come from. I know what I come from, and I don't forget. But I don't like using fear. No different than you don't like having fear used on you. Don't use fear on me, and I won't remind you that our people are better at fear than you are. We like faith, we like hope, we like love, we like the positives. But when you force me into a situation where my fear-based instincts are activated, you're going to get stabbed, right? You're going to get the part of my personality that is very psychoactively offensive as opposed to defensive. And if you like dealing with the nice civil behavior that I have when I have when I use the opportunity of the, you know, civilian life and citizenship mindset as, you know, James, then, you know, that's my civil legal name, then treat me that way. When you treat me with the proper respect, and don't forget that you are biologically inferior to me, I will give you that same respect. Just remember that what you were taught by another person came from our culture initially. We taught you before you learn how to teach yourself. Don't forget that.
Now his connection's wonky. Where did we... Oh, is he going back down the toilet street? The toilet street has terrible connection. I don't know. I'm looking at that sign behind him. I think it's... I don't know what sign that is, actually. I know the fucking toilet street starts with a C. That could be a C or an O. I want there to be a connection when he reads all the comments. God damn it. It's not. It's not. It's not. It's not our day today, guys. We're missing parts of recordings. James isn't gonna... Well, we're not gonna get James's reaction to the comments. Yeah, no, I get you. Hey, Carrie. Hey, Carrie, what's going on? But Skeptical Robin, I feel you. This is life now. Maybe his phone died. Did he hit 11%? Usually when these bars are going across screen, it means that like he's in another app or something. Like he has it. He's not. The bars could mean his phone died too, though. Usually he'd be saying, "Oh, I only got this percent. I only got that percent." But he has been going off on like a lot of rants today. Like rants where he's forgot to even look at the screen, so maybe he hasn't been paying attention to his battery. I thought his battery was like super long lasting though, remember? Because he was going for like 5 hours that one day, and I was like, Jesus Christ, I hate this new phone. This new phone of James's. But yeah, maybe he's dead. Maybe he's dead. Well, I guess, can I drop it? I can't even airdrop it until he's done here. Because I was gonna say we could watch the beginning of what we missed before I got on here. I'm dying, waiting for bed. I mean, okay. Take care, Kratos. Take care of yourself. Make sure everything's okay. Oh, look, it's dead. He died. He died. That's cool. All right, let me airdrop. And Daisy did like a 15-minute live this morning. I don't know what that's about. We can check that. See what's going on there. While I airdrop this over Red Rover. Just two of them. My phone was evil today. It was like, we're just gonna stop recording for no specific reason, just because like we feel like it. And I went, ah! And so I came live here because I was like, well, at least if I stream snipe him here, we'll get the recordings. And then it started like doing that freezing thing, which is no good. That's no fun. All right. Let me let's get rid of the. Oops. Let's get rid of this. Get rid of this. Let's go over here, over there, over there. And let me get oh no. Okay. Then I reverse it. It's your fricka file. That's not Bro. Hold on. Ooh, there we go. This one. Wait. Okay, it's doing a trickery. It's saying 41 minutes. It's actually only 15 minutes. So I don't know what happened there. Everything must have pulled a James and play tricks on me. Does it want to resize? Who knows?
Okay, so I just got woken up. Trying to sleep. We're not supposed to get woken up when it rains, so I was just gonna keep sleeping here. I didn't move my camp because it was raining, so they are not supposed to make us move. go to sleep while you do that. Reverend, thank you.
This is what the stream was? Just her sleeping? Riveting. I thought this was gonna be something better. Oh well. Dun dun dun. Alright. Well, I mean, what we could do is we can just end this stream. That's what we could do. I could show you guys the other like the other hour of James that we missed before, because yeah, the Alan thing is gonna be the Alan premiere. It's gonna be going in like 15 minutes. Maybe I will just put a redirect to the Alan thing here, and I could just start it early, because like, what are we doing with our lives anyways? What are we even doing? Who's even gonna watch Alan? I don't know actually. Let's see. I'll put a redirect, I'll end it, and then we'll just start Alan early. We'll just start him early. Bum bum bum. Where is? There we go. Okay. Redirect that. And did you know I would have had everything updated on the archive channel if James didn't go live? And I didn't have to fucking end the render that took literally 4 hours to do. I had to end it right at the end just so OBS would work properly. So maybe the rest of the videos will be up on the archive channel, but I doubt it. So I don't know though.